to Touching Tornadoes. My name is Conrad, and how are you, buddy? I live with bipolar 1 with psychotic features, and this is the Daily Mood Journal. We're going to start the show with our gratitude check in. That's what we've been doing lately. So, what's one small thing that made you smile today? Share a personal gratitude moment. Something simple like, I'm grateful for coffee that actually hit right this morning, or the sunlight that broke through the clouds. Reflect on how gratitude feels different when you're in a stable mood versus manic or depressive swings. Gratitude can be a good mood stabilizer. It pulls you out of the storm, even if just for a moment. So, today's show, we got to start with gratitude. Grateful for my wife and kids. I am grateful for the coffee this morning. It is something very simple, but uh, daylight savings time was last night or today, or whichever way you look at it, and we had to set our clocks back. But I still got up at the same time, and I guess I'm grateful for that kind of moment on Sunday mornings where you can sit and chill, and not everybody's in a big hurry. That's kind of something I'm grateful for. Everybody's we're like a bunch of cats. My family is like a bunch of cats on a Sunday morning where you just do that big long stretch when you wake up and then you wander and shuffle around. There's a lot of sounds of the shuffling sounds on the floor. So, um, I guess I'm grateful for the time to be able to do that. I do have to go into work today, and I'm grateful for the weather. It's supposed to be sunny, and I don't think it's supposed to be windy. I should look at that more, but sometimes it's like it doesn't matter. I have to do what I have to do, so why worry about it? But um, from what I've gathered so far from my adventures outdoors, it looks like it's going to be a pretty beautiful day. So I'm grateful for that here in the Midwest part of our country. But we're going to jump into might be a shorter show, mainly because I screwed up the first recording of this by not having any audio. I guess I should wear headphones, and there's a lot of things I should do. Only thing that I said I'm going to do, though, is a daily bipolar mood journal. Um, these are recommended, obviously, in every book you read as you try to educate yourself on the disorder. It's going to be recommended that you participate in a mood journal or a journaling practice, a mindfulness practice, and I'm just here to show you how I'm attempting to do all that. To show you I don't know how to do a mindfulness practice. I don't know how to do a gratitude practice. I don't know if there is an appropriate way to do mindfulness or gratitude. And so my way was like, well, in an effort to do what the doctor prescribes and keep a journal of my mood. And one way that I can do that is by just keeping myself honest by doing it live here on YouTube. So, what's up, John and Will? Um, and my political friend Jeff. Uh, we're gonna start with the mood journal. I'll just read this out how they put it for today. Ground the audience. What the purpose of this is to ground the audience in emotional awareness and reflection. So, mood check in. Where's your energy today? High, low, balanced? A sleep routine. How did you sleep? Did you eat something real today, not just caffeine or chips? Your stress level. Anything triggering or calming your nervous system right now? Reflection. If your mood had a color or a weather pattern, what would it be? And then rate your mood from 1 to 10 and share what's influencing it. Meds, rest, interaction, stress, etc. So, where's your energy at today? I'm at a balanced. I'll put myself at a balanced energy today. I got I went to sleep. I take some pretty heavy duty just in all honesty, I'm still coming down from probably my most severe manic episode that I'd say ended, you know, September, the beginning of September, the end of August, started tapering down. And so since then, I'm been on pretty heavy mood stabilizers and antipsychotics for me because I have psychosis that happens when when I go into my mania. I've went into psychosis all of those times. And so they put me on an antipsychotic. And so a lot of times that seems to knock me out. You know what I mean? If I when I take my evening medication, I get like a half hour maybe of before I'm ready to go to sleep. So I'm I went to bed. I would say I fell asleep. I was very exhausted yesterday, and then once I took the medication, it kind of all kicked in on me, and I'm thinking that I went to sleep like 8:30 ish. Um, but with the time change and everything, I guess that makes it 7:30. I don't know. And so when I woke up this morning, I just woke up at 6:15, the normal time, kind of that my body. I didn't have an alarm set, but it was a little early for everyone else on a Sunday morning. So I just kind of shuffled around and went, and my daughter wasn't feeling well, so she was laying on the couch, and that's kind of where I typically spend my mornings before everyone's awake, is there just kind of collecting my thoughts. But with her not feeling well, she took over the couch, and I went to like the spare bedroom I have where I can. There's a bed in there and lay in there, and I have one of these red lights, like a mood light that helps. Um, so I turned that on and just kind of woke up in there. But what was my energy? I'll give it. I'm balanced. I don't feel too high. I don't feel too low, which is good. So I'm gonna put it at a 5. I'm always aiming for a 5. So I already talked about sleep routine. That's how I slept. Did I get something real to eat today? Yes, I made the family egg sandwiches, including myself. So I had a couple eggs on a couple pieces of toast and made everybody else some stuff. It says not just caffeine or chips. I did dip into the candy from Halloween. That's there's nothing better than while you're cooking an egg sandwich to frickin' get yourself a little tiny Kit Kat bar. So maybe they're not recommended, and I'm sure I should. You know, some people might just live off Kit Kats, and I don't know. This is my mood journal. I guess fill your own out. Anything triggering or calming your nervous system right now? I got a little triggered a bit earlier. I tried to do this mood journal earlier, and I wasn't able to have sound, and I'd already, clicked go, and I had people talking that they couldn't hear me, and that kind of triggered the whole thing where it's like, gosh dang it, can't I just do this? I'm just sitting talking about my mood, and got to make sure things are plugged in correctly, I guess, or turned on right, which in addition to my um disorder, I do have some ADHD or ADD tendencies, I think, forgetfulness and all that kind of stuff, or get distracted very easily. So, if my mood had a color or a weather pattern today, what would it be? Today's mood would be like a yellow. I give today a yellow. This is the first time it's asked me to put it as a color. So I like yellow. It's one of to me that's today has some possibilities of being a pretty good day. Some days when you're waking up and it's a blue or a purple or a black, it ain't a black day. So I'm gonna stick with yellow. Um, Rate your mood from 1 to 10 and share what's influencing it. Let's see. I'm gonna give it a 5. I That's where I want to be. Um, I'm and what's influencing it, medication, rest. I had good rest, and I've been good about taking my medication, and I think I'll even get like a better. I'm wondering if I can take my medicine at a better, like a more consistent time of day. It might even help me even more. I mean, I take them before bed, is what the prescription says, but like that can change for everyone. So maybe if I take them always at 7:30 or always at whatever 8, um, it can help me a little bit. But I've been in kind of a silly mood or wanting to be in a silly mood today, which is good because I feel like I'm in the danger zone for going down into the depressive thing. And yesterday and the day before, I had a lot of the I just call them flashbacks from the manic episode or just memories of mania, whatever you want to call it. And those are the worst. So, um, talking point that we have here, mood journaling helps track early signs of cycling. For example, I notice when I start getting chatty or impulsive. It's a signal to check my meds and my sleep schedule. Yeah. I'm working to not be impulsive. That's definitely a big trigger for me. So, um, that's it. 1 to 5. I'm a 5. That's a good day then. So, we're going to get into a little bit of the topic of today. And this is more for me probably than, but it can help you. Bipolar, what is bipolar disorder versus schizoaffective disorder? And this is going to be to educate myself, to clarify it for myself and you guys, and to normalize. There is a lot of overlap between schizoaffective disorder and bipolar disorder. And where I'm at currently with my journey um, is I don't know. I've had 3 major manic episodes, each one worse than the one before, and I'm not 100% sure if, even though I'm diagnosed bipolar 1, if maybe there's schizoaffective. So I'm trying to learn what that is just so I can inform my doctor about it. So um, I'm just going to. Do I have bipolar? This is a question you get sometimes. Do you have bipolar, schizoaffective, or both? So bipolar disorder basics are you're cycling between mania, hypomania, and depression. Mania is your elevated energy, less need for sleep, grandiosity, impulsivity. Yeah, that's the understatement. And depression, low mood, fatigue, hopelessness, slowed thinking. Obviously, these are kind of, if you've been through them, you understand that that's like a nice way to say these things, but that's the only words we have. So, schizoaffective disorder is a hybrid condition. It features of a mood disorder and schizophrenia. It includes mood episodes like mania and depression, plus psychotic symptoms, hallucinations, and delusions that can appear even when the mood is stable. So, the biggest distinction is that in bipolar disorder, your psychotic symptoms only appear during your manic or your depressive episode. In schizoaffective disorder, psychosis can occur independently of mood changes. So, an example would be like during my manic episode, I had delusional thinking, but when I got stable, um, so did my sense of reality. That's one reason that my doctors lean towards bipolar disorder. Well, and your diagnosis can shift over time. So, what matters most is that you're aware and that you are staying connected and staying supported, not really worrying about what exactly your diagnosis label is. So, but the reason that it is important to be aware of what your brain is trying to do for you, what your brain is telling you, what your mood is, you might be able to help your doctor give you better advice on how to manage yourself moving forward, you know. And so the two notes that I have to take into my doctor on the 5th is when my next appointment is. I need to take her in that I've had two times. One when I was at the YMCA, and it just seemed like on that particular day, I was having trouble with people, looking at people's faces and seeing somebody else's face in them. That's one of the delusions that I had when manic. And it didn't happen with everyone. There was just a few people, and one in particular, and that's why it's easy to remember. It's like, man, I went to the locker room and this one guy looked exactly like, almost to the point of I almost went over and it's like, what are you doing here? It looked exactly like this person, and I had to like come up close to them to figure out that it wasn't. And so that was kind of like, oh, what's going on here? My delusional, even though I feel stable, that kind of thing. And I had another instance where I saw what was a family member in the face of somebody else, not like my wife or kids, but a cousin, and I was like, man, that looks an awful lot like. And so it gets kind of hairy, because you're like, there are people that look and resemble your own family, and that's normal. It's not abnormal for somebody to be like, oh, I thought you were someone else. But what I'm talking about is the face of the person. Your brain is telling you, like, that's them. It's not telling you that might be them. So it's a little concerning that I have had a couple of moments of delusional thinking, really, or hallucinatory, when I don't know if there's an actual, I'm sure there is a psychological term for when you look at somebody's face and you see it change into a different person, but I don't know what that term is. So I know when I was at my, or during my mania, during my most delusional thinking, one of the things that was happening to me a lot was that, though, where I would see former family members' faces in people that I would meet. People, family member that I've lost that's died, I would see them in other people. And so it's just something that I want to write down as a note that I need to bring it into my doctors and let them know that I'm having this in case there is something else that I need to be doing to make myself better, or a different medication that I need to be on. I don't know. But I do know that I'm supposed to be keeping track of that. And that's what this mood journal does. So even though mood journal, I'm feeling like a 5 today, which is where we're aiming for. Um, we did our gratitude check-in at the opening, and be as grateful for as much as you can, no matter how small that it is kind of the takeaway from that. Start your day with gratitude. It rewires your brain. It does all kinds of stuff. It just makes you think of a different way to say something, like I have to go to work today, or I get to go to work today, or blah blah blah. It just gives you that. Do your mood journal. So ours today, we got to a 5. We had a question that if mood had a color, what would it be? And for me today, it would be yellow. What's yours? I don't know. Our topic of today was bipolar disorder versus schizoaffective. And the only thing about that you need to remember is, at least from what we had, is that in bipolar disorder, when you have psychosis, it goes away when your episode goes away and you feel like you're stable. For schizoaffective disorder, You could have delusional thought, hallucinations, and stuff, even while not in an episode. So there's that. And we're going to end our show today in affirmations, like always. So, um, sorry. I am learning to understand my mind, not fear it. Every day I stay balanced is a victory worth celebrating. I am not my diagnosis. I am a whole, growing human being. I can rebuild, repair, and rise again. And even when my thoughts storm, I can choose peace. So we can read those. I am learning to understand my mind, not fear it. Every day I stay balanced is a victory worth celebrating. I am not my diagnosis. I am a whole, growing human being. I can rebuild, repair, and rise again. And even when my thoughts storm, I can choose peace. So, those are my affirmations for the day. Take them if you want them. Find your own, search your own. They seem to help me. My favorite one is even when my thoughts storm, I can choose peace. It's a choice. Remember, whether you're feeling balanced or battling, your story matters. So keep showing up, keep laughing. So, yeah, that's it. That's the show today, everybody. We went through our gratitude check in. We did our daily bipolar mood journal. We talked about bipolar disorder versus schizoaffective disorder. And we did our affirmations. So, be good to yourself. Um, have an okay day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't let your meatloaf